Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. Today's video is going to be an update to my pan palette. So I am panning the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance Eyeshadow palette and I'm really excited about my progress this time. However, before getting into my progress, I just wanted to say that I have been taking a little break from YouTube. I did post about it on the community tab and I'm back now. However, I don't think I will be uploading too many videos for the rest of this year. There are for sure some videos that I want to film, like some project pan finales and some other kind of like end of the year sort of content that I really want to film. But you know, I am 34 weeks pregnant at the moment and we're still in the middle of renovating, so YouTube is just not my top priority right now, but I will try to get some specific videos filmed, but I won't be having any sort of upload schedule or anything like that. And probably for the next couple of weeks there won't be any other videos than this, because we're still renovating our kitchen and that is kind of like important to get it done. But anyways, let's get into the actual update with my Modern Renaissance. So it has been a little bit over 5 weeks since I filmed my last update. Usually I film these videos in the end of every month, but this time, you know, the gap was a little bit longer. But it makes sense for me to film this update right now, so yeah. Let me show you where I was in the end of September and where I am at the moment. And here is what the palette is looking like right now. So as you can see, Real Gar is finally gone. And also there's really good progress with Red Ochre, and Red Ochre is the only shade left. I am so excited I was able to finish Real Gar. I'm actually wearing it today, so today is the day that I finished it. It took 18 more uses for me to get it done, but I will say it started to be pretty thin on the side of the pan, and sometimes when the eyeshadow gets to that point there will be more crumpling and I will use more product what I would use if it wasn't like that. I know I could try to repress it, however I find that I always lose some product while repressing too. And anyways, I'm so happy Real Gar is now done. I don't know if I want to wear orange eyeshadow ever again. At least I know I don't want to pan it. It was so slow going shade because I feel compared to everything else in this palette, Real Gar was clearly more hardly pressed, and the other shades, they can be like powdery messes but not Real Gar, so it was quite a tough one. But yeah, I'm happy it is gone now. And yeah, Red Ochre, I have been able to make some really good progress with that one too. I did use it more than I used Real Gar. I actually used Red Ochre for 30 times. So I have been using it almost every time that I have worn an eyeshadow. So yeah, I'm really happy with the progress and seeing so little bit of product in the corner there. I mean, there is still quite a bit, but you know, compared to where this eyeshadow was, and seeing all of the progress, I am sure I can get this eyeshadow done. I will try to incorporate it into every look that I'm going to be creating for the next however long it takes that it will be gone. But I will say with Red Ochre, I really do like it because it's a way more versatile shade than what Real Gar was. Real Gar was a really warm orangey shade no matter what, but even though Red Ochre is a more kind of like warm reddish brown, it is really easy shade to incorporate into cooler toned looks. For example, with plummy looks, it actually doesn't look that warm at all. But yeah, that is where I am with this palette right now. I am not going to film an update to this project until this palette is done, because I think it would be extremely boring to film an update in the end of the month if there is just a little bit product left on the corner of red ochre, but it's not completely gone. Let me quickly show you the Franken blush and the Franken bronzer that I have created. So these I created in September, so these I have of course been using during the past month, but using these won't count towards the uses. But the Franken bronzer I have repressed into my Bahama Mama packaging from the Balm. And here I do have a couple of drugstore bronzers and a little bit of red ochre and quite a bit of real gar, I think. And that is everything I have left. This is really warm and I'm starting to be pretty sick of it, but it's not going to take long until it is gone. This is the Franken blush. It has been going a little bit slower, but I hoped during the past month. I was hoping to be almost done with it. But there is still quite a bit of product left. It is pretty pigmented. It is the blush I'm wearing today. All of these products I'm wearing today, both of these and also both red ochre and real gar on my eye look. But yeah, I'm just trying to make progress on this blush. I'm trying to get it used up this year. Then let's still quickly talk about my companion palette. I have been selecting a companion palette for my Panted palette since summer because I had so few shades left in my Panted palette. And for October my companion palette was the Seattle London Olivia Palermo palette, and I actually made some really great progress on this palette during the past month. So when I wrote this in to be my companion palette, there was one pan on this palette and now there's 4 pans. So I was able to hit 3 new pans on this palette during the past month. So the eyeshadow where I did have pan before making this my companion palette was the brown, because I had been using that one on my brows. But in October I was able to hit pan on the matte cream. There's quite a bit of pan. I will say this eyeshadow is a little bit strange. It has crumbled a little bit from the bottom of the pan, and that makes me lose some product a little bit easier. Again, I could repress it, but I really don't care to do it anyways. I have been just using this eyeshadow to set my eyeshadow primer. I have a ton of matte creams, and even if I ever get to a point where I only have one matte cream and I wouldn't want to set my eye primer with it and I would only want to use it as a brow bone highlight, I would then use my under eye setting powder to set my eyeshadow primer. Then I was also able to hit pan on the really light, dusty rose sort of shade. I do not like this shade. It reminds me so much of Buon Fresco, and if you have been watching me panning Modern Renaissance since the beginning, you know how much I hated Buon Fresco. So yeah, one reason why I really wanted to go for finishing the palette was that I didn't want to use up Buon Fresco for nothing, because I absolutely hated that eyeshadow. I feel it made me look deaf. So I was able to hit pan on this eyeshadow, and I think I only used it like a couple of times in October. However, there was quite a bit of dip there already, and one thing I will need to say about these mattes is that they are not too pigmented. The brown is if I use it on my brows. However, I feel these are that kind of mattes that when you use them and blend them, they kind of over blend, and it can be difficult to get a good color payoff in a way, or you will need to build it up quite a bit. I hope it makes sense. And also I find with these matte plummy shades, I feel they are that kind of shades that they kind of blend into each other in a way where you cannot really see 2 different colors anymore. Some people might like that, but I just feel these do over blend a little bit. And yeah, then I was able to hit pan on the Shimmery Peach. Also, this one was in my Pantos eyeshadows, so this one you have seen already if you did watch that update. I also got really good use out of the rose gold. There's starting to be a little bit of dent there, although I know the pan is so far away because these pans are deep. Today I am wearing this kind of like gold on my lid. This is a little bit deeper, almost like bronzy gold, but I still think it is a gold. And I have actually been thinking of making this one my painted palette, and at this point I feel this is the strongest option for me. Reason being that, as you can see, these eyeshadows are pressed directly into the palette, and I don't necessarily like that. Other than that, I really do like this packaging because it's so sleek and slim and compact, and also it's really elegant, but I don't like the idea of having the eyeshadows pressed directly into the palette because I cannot depot them. Of course, I could repress them into something else, but I don't like to do that. I would rather depot. So I'm thinking of focusing on this palette for a year, trying to finish a couple of the shades. I mean, there is no way I could finish this entire palette in a year, and anyways, I'm thinking of taking a way more relaxed approach to eyeshadow padding next year. With the newborn baby and everything, there's just no way I'm going to be wearing eyeshadow every day. And even those days that I'm going to be wearing eyeshadows, I think most days I will wear something really quick, simple, neutral. But I would like to focus on this palette a little bit more, get some good use out of it, finish maybe a couple of the shades, try to hit pan on everything at least. So yeah, because of that, I think this one might be my painted palette for next year, but I do have also a couple of other options. So I have not fully decided, but let me know if you would like to see me try to pan this palette. And then let's really quickly still talk about the companion palette that I will be having for the rest of this year. So the palette that I want to be using now, since we are getting into the holiday season, is of course my Gimme Glow Cosmetics Christmas Morning Eyeshadow Palette. It's not quite Christmas time yet, but it's getting closer. And yeah, this time of year is really the only time of year that I can really see myself focusing on this palette. Sometimes I will use a shade from the palette here and there, but it is truly a holiday themed palette and it's so gorgeous. It's also fun, but even though it's fun, it's not too much, because if you know me, you know I'm scared of colorful eyeshadows. I love my neutrals, and yeah, I just think this is fun, but not too much. So I absolutely do love this. And yeah, I'm excited to be getting some more use out of this palette. I don't think it's realistic to hit pan on any of these eyeshadows. That was everything for today. I'm not sure how long it's going to take until I will film my next one, but I'm getting back to it slowly. But you know, since I am going to be having a baby soon and we're still preparing for the baby, we have the renovation going on, and everything in our life is going to be new after the baby arrives. Most likely my uploading is not going to be super regular in the next several months, but you know, I'm still excited for this time of year when it's time to wrap up some projects and plan for next year's projects, and then of course in the beginning of the year it's time to put out all of the intros and stuff like that. And of course, as someone who enjoys watching project panning content, there is so much to watch from everyone else. But that's really everything for today. Thanks for watching and see you on my next one. Bye bye!